and indeed he found with him all the desired happiness he had dreamed of before marrying her. 3 years passed by and happiness was finding its place in their home, but one thing overwhelmed them. They took him, embraced him, and raised him well together, never thinking that he was not their crucifixion, but so attached to him that he couldn't believe it. Is that he is their adopted son. Days and years pass, and after 7 years comes the will of God Almighty. The miracle is achieved. The wife became pregnant with a son and gave birth to him 9 months later, and he was very beautiful. His parents raised him with his adopted brother but never revealed his secret. The 2 sons grew up together and were helpful to each other, and the relationship was folded. The 2 sons grew up together and were helpful to each other, and the relationship was very good. They grew up and became 2 young men who were surprised by friends before enemies. One day the parents were outside at the invitation of a friend. They left the 2 young men to study at home as they were at university. The shocking surprise was when the parents returned from abroad and found their real son. His face is stained with blood and blood is flowing from his body. His parents approached him to ask him what happened to him. He answered them, tears drowning his eyes, "My brother beat me badly without me doing anything to him." The parents got angry and poured all the anger on their adopted son to the point that the husband kicked him out of his house, and despite all the pleas and crying, even though he became big, he lost his strength in body strength and height, but he started crying for them and begging them to give him a chance to correct the concept and tell them what happened to his brother. The 2 young men did not know the truth and were surprised that their parents treated one of them, and in the end the father pushed his adopted son abroad in a tantrum. The adopted son thought that minutes later, maybe hours, and he will calm down and invite him to enter the house again, but what the son thought did not happen. He went to his university in the morning. And the next day, when evening came, the parents noticed his presence in the garden, but they didn't show up, and this was an interest in his order, and this thing saddened him very much from the inside, while the father was in good shape. The son said, "What happened to my brother?" The father said, "Don't worry about him, he doesn't care about me. You are the only one who cares about me." The son said with tears filling his eyes, "Dad, I did not tell you the truth on this day." His father was shocked and asked, "What is the truth of the matter then?" The son said, "Oh my father, on this day I wished that you would die so that I could enjoy your possessions, and when I exceeded my limits in talking to my brother, he beat me, so I was stubborn and overstepping my limits more and more. If my father dies, I will die after him. I have no place in this life without him." The father was dumbfounded by what he heard from his real son, and then he appreciated the truth of the matter and the truth of what he did, and what he did wrong with his adopted son, who preserved and loved him more than his real son from his loins. He got out, and searched in the garden and shouted his son's name, but unfortunately he found him lying on the ground, dead.